The most daunting challenge for many people starting triathlon is the swim. Not that the swim is particularly complicated, but it is foreign to many people and they often don't know where to even start. So we're going to look at how to begin your triathlon swim journey. If you want to complete a triathlon, the first thing you need to overcome, literally, is the swim. And it's the shortest of the three disciplines, as well as the first one, so you're going to be freshest for it. But all of that said, it's quite often the most daunting for many people. Part of that is just getting your head around it. I mean, when it comes to the cycling, whether you've cycled before or not, you can probably understand that to train, you need to get out on your bike, usually on the road, and get some training in. The same goes for running. You need to build up that mileage and just get used to it. But when it comes to swimming, there's so many questions. I mean, how often do you need to swim? How far should you be swimming in training? I mean, what do swimmers even do? What kit do you need? What should you wear? Well, we are here to answer those questions, put your mind at ease, and set you off on the right track with your swimming journey. Now, what do you need? Well, the basics to start are a swimsuit, a hat and goggles. Now, a swimsuit does need to be swimming specific and might feel a little bit tight to start with, but it's going to stay in place, not give you any drag or any chafing. As much as you might feel more comfortable in a pair of board shorts or a bikini, trust us on this one, it's worth investing in just a basic swimsuit from your local sports store so you can get on with the job. And you might feel self-conscious in it, but as soon as you get to the pool, you'll realise that everybody else is dressed the same. When it comes to goggles, you don't need to go and buy a really expensive pair, but just make sure that they are going to seal your eyes so that they stop the water getting in and they're comfortable and you can see through them. Two kind of essentials when it comes to swim goggles. As for the hat, it can be optional, but do check the pool rules because a lot of pools do require you wear a swimming hat, and if you've got long hair, I would seriously recommend it because otherwise your hair just gets tangled around your goggle straps and it's really not very comfortable. And there's a couple of optional pieces of kit which you could take if you want, but a lot of pools will have these as communal options on the side as well, so just ask a lifeguard, a kickboard and a pool boy. Now, a kickboard is designed to focus purely on your legs, so you rest your arms on it, gives your arms a bit of a rest and you can focus on that aspect of your stroke. As for the pool boy, well, it's a foam sort of hourglass shape piece of kit and it sits between your thighs and it's designed to help lift your hips up, put your body in that nice position and eliminate your legs. But once you've got all of your kit and you head to the pool, you want to think about how you're going to use your time. And yes, you could just swim up and down in the public lane and you might feel no pressure for it, but you'll actually get a lot more out of your precious time if you can find a group to join. And it might look intimidating if you're watching a swim squad full of young kids flying up and down, but it's worth going to speak to the coach and find out what's available at your local swimming pool. You'll sometimes find there's some triathlon swim groups or even a masters swim group. And yes, even if you are a beginner swimmer, you might feel, my goodness, I'm not going to be quick enough, but explain where you're at. And most squads will have a lane for slower swimmers and you can always stop and pause and you'll just get more structure and you'll naturally pick up tips from other swimmers and maybe even from the coach, and you'll just have that feeling of sense of community as well from it. Swimming is a technique sport, and yes, initially you might see you get some big gains. Just as you get fitter, you will naturally get faster, but you'll start to hit a plateau, and that's where you need to dial in your technique. And it's a good idea to get some help on this one because yes, swimming in a group is going to be great for that fitness aspect, but you might need some one-on-one attention. So try and find a coach, whether it's part of this group or the squad you've joined, or somebody else who can give you some really direct attention on certain aspects of your stroke. You might even find a beginner swim group that are at a similar standard to you and they can focus on different aspects. And it's something that might seem a lot of money, but it will go a long way to your swimming improvement. Consistency is often the hardest part of triathlon training, and I think the swim is exacerbated as it's just that much more hassle. You can't do it exactly when you want. You've got to make sure you fit into the pool schedule. You've got to check that. You've got to drive to the pool. You've got to make sure you've remembered all of your kits, and it does take a fair amount of organisation and commitment to that. So try to plan in 2, if possible 3 sessions a week that stay the same time every week and you know you've got them. Maybe even plan to meet somebody when you get there so you are then committed. And it's easy to miss one for those reasons, but see it as building those foundation blocks, and if you miss 1 session or 2 a week, you're going to take much longer before you can move up to the next layer. And when you do head to the pool, you want to avoid the temptation of just jumping in and swimming non-stop for the whole session. Instead, you want to go with a planned structure. So maybe have a session plan with a warm-up, a main set, and a cool down. You can have set distance intervals, the amount of reps you want to do, the amount of rest and pace you're even thinking of hitting, and then maybe some drills that are going to help with your technique. And it's a good idea to take this written down because it's quite a lot to remember. You can write it on a scrap of paper, stick it on the end of the pool, or even stick it to your swimming bottle so you can just remind yourself as you're going along. And it is really tempting to think, well, I'll get more mileage done if I just get in and keep swimming. But like we said earlier, swimming is about technique. You need to work at different paces. You'll get a lot more out of your session if you do that. And if you just continually swim until you get tired, coming back to that technique aspect, it'll start to whittle down and you'll just be practicing bad habits. But once you've got your swimming to a certain point and you're feeling quite confident and your fitness has really improved, it's still worth keeping an eye on your technique and getting some stroke analysis. So whether that's getting someone to film you, or if you stop working with a coach, go back to maybe just have the odd one-on-one session just to tweak those small points, because you might have started to let some bad habits creep in, and it's always good to nip them in the bud until you've been practicing them for too long. And I know there's a lot to think about and a lot to remember. We've got a lot of beginner videos on GTN, so go and check that out, including some beginner swim sessions if you want some ideas to take them directly or adapt them slightly to fit your needs. And starting off the swimming in triathlon is quite daunting, like we said, but it is worth the consistency now, because it will pay off when you can head to a triathlon and enjoy that first part and then concentrate on your bike and run afterwards. Well, good luck with your swimming journey. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Let us know where you're at with that journey, actually. Give us a like if you've enjoyed it, and remember to click on the globe to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos.